Everybody doing, man? It is your boy West Coast. We live in the building. We live everywhere that you can possibly imagine. Anywhere that there is internet access, we are live. We live right now. Shout out to the folks that's watching us in a cave in Kandahar. What's up with you, man? Go outside, you'll get better signal. I promise. You know what I'm saying? But yo, hey, listen to me. I got the three amigos of cowboy content plus one. Arriba, I gotta get a soundbite for that. You know
Amigo.
Amigo. You know what I'm saying?
Pablo.
Shout out to my boy Takeoff, man. But yo, I got Miss Stargazer Sports in the building. How you doing this morning?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stargazer. Glad to be here today with Henny, West Coast, and Landlord. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Hey, and listen to me. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now before anybody get offended. There's gonna be a couple times when I accidentally say he or yes, sir. Okay, it's universal, just like in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? When God says he talking to everybody. You feel me? All right. So yo, you already know whenever West Coast goes live, what are the three things you guys must do? Mandatory. What do they must do? First thing you must do is you must share. You must share. Why? Because when you was 2, your mama popped you on your arm and said, don't you know sharing is caring? You know what I'm saying? So we got to enforce that. Why? Because sharing is caring. So I need every single person that's watching right now, no matter where you're watching at, I need everybody right now to hit that share button. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have 5 Super Bowl rings, and we want to get another one, man. So 5 is the mandatory. 5 is the mandatory. Start off with 5. I need everybody to hit that share button at least 5 times. And then guess what? If you think we're going to win it this year, if you believe we're going to win it this year, I need you to give me one extra one. You feel me? One extra one. Give me one extra. So that's 6 shares for everybody, okay? Next thing I need you guys to do, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're the Book of Faces, if you're tuning in on Facebook, the Book of Faces, this is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to hit that star button. What are stars? Stars are simply a way that you, the content creator, can show your boy West Coast that you rock with the content. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys hit that star button. On YouTube, it's called Super Chats. What are Super Chats? Super Chats are simply the exact same thing. The only difference is it's on YouTube. You know, you got to be a little different. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say what's up to everybody that's watching. As I say your name, all you got to do is hit that star button and then hit that share button. And then this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let the fellas start off first. HTM, man, let them know who's watching over there on your show, on your page, my boy.
Yeah, man, my boy Double R, part of the Wrench Gang, done tapped in with me. Hey, as y'all know, if you do not comment, I cannot give y'all a shout out. So everybody else, please hit the comment box. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in over here at the liquor store.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Lord, let them know what you're rocking with.
Absolutely. I got my boy Trap Boy Red in the building with me. Double R with 3 phones, Mr. 3 phones. And then Fish 82 the buzzer beater. And then Miss Regina Green with the green over here tapped in. We still building, man. Y'all, let's get it. Let's get this trap round the corner, what we say.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, hey, man, let's go. And then Stargaze, I know you new to this, but I want you to be true to this and still shout out to some people that's going to watch your show at some point, because even though may not be people watching right now, there's going to be a ton of people that's going to watch this as soon as it goes off. So give some shout out to some people that's going to watch later on.
I'll go ahead and give a shout out to my guy on Twitter, Josmo. Me and him talk all the time. I'll give a shout out. I'm trying to see. My guy, the Bill on Twitter. I know he'll definitely watch. He probably watching right now. And I'll give a shout out. Let's see. And I'll give a shout out to my guy. Oh, I'll give a shout out to my girl, Quita. We talk all the time as well on Twitter. And I think I have like a couple of, I think Coach Marv, maybe Amp, and I think Ready Red has followed my YouTube, which is not live right now because I've got to wait to get the approval. But
Okay.
people that should be watching my channel in the future.
Hey, quick shout out to the Lunatic for the $2 donation. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
All right, well, hey, man, so now that we didn't got the shout-outs out the way, we didn't pay the bills, man, let's go ahead and jump right into the content, man. And that is, man, it's a kind of continuation of yesterday, man, the conversation that was put out there about our quarterback possibly getting an extension, or should he get an extension. Before we start this conversation, let me phrase this real quick. Dak did not get an extension as of today. You know what I'm saying? He got a restructure. The difference between a restructure and an extension is Well, a restructure means if I got $50, they just gonna restructure that. Instead of having a $50 bill, they're gonna give me 2 20s and a 2 10s, but you still got $50. You know what I'm saying? An extension is when they give you more on top of that. So they're gonna extend that $50 to $70. That means they're gonna take 50 and add $20 on top of it. You have more money. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. I want everybody to know there's a difference. What Dak got was a restructure, or not a restructure. He got a restructure. He did not get an extension. He didn't get no extra money. And that means that the cap hit is still the same. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
Yeah, basically, like you said, man, it's the same money. It's just paid in a different way. They turned it into bonus money. So it just lowers the cap hit. So, but what we talking about his potential contract in the future, right?
Yeah, we're talking in the future, because I mean, if you just look at the contracts that are out right now, and the quarterbacks, they're quarterbacks that Dak Prescott has actually beaten, like a guy like Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? And Stargazer, I'm actually this. You know what I'm saying? You in the office. You know what I'm saying? You running laps around people. You know what I'm saying? There's literally, people in the office that you just dog walking. You know what I'm saying? They just have never had better numbers than you. But guess what? They got an evaluation, and they just got a bonus, and now they making a whole $5 more than you.
Yes, sir.
I want to know, what would you think about that Daniel Jones in your office?
You missed the super, West.
Hey, go ahead and shout it out.
Shout out to Taiwan with the $5 super sticker. We appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, also appreciate Taiwan for the $5 donation. Thank you for the love and support, my brother.
And the $2 from Lunatic. My bad, Lunatic.
Go ahead.
The Lunatic, you said, what's my YouTube site name? It's Stargazer Sports. So you guys can follow me. It's the same across my YouTube, Facebook page, as well as I think you should be able to find me by that on Twitter as well. But I mean, West Coast. I mean, if I was Dak, me getting paid the same amount of money as Daniel Jones, APY is unacceptable. I'm pretty much undefeated against Daniel Jones, I believe.
Correct.
Dak is undefeated against Daniel Jones, is he not?
Yes,
Dak has not lost to the Giants since 2016. So you're right.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones didn't come in until, what was that, 2018, 2019? I believe draft. I think it was 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But absolutely, if I'm Dak Prescott, I need to be getting paid way more than Daniel Jones. I have more playoff wins. Top 10 in completion percentage all time. Top 10 in passer rating, touchdown interception ratio. I mean, we can just keep going. Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler. I mean, my resume is way longer than Daniel.
Pause the show real quick. So, Stargazer, you just not a girl. You a girl that actually know football.
That's correct.
Hey, Wes.
That would be correct.
You got that troll in the chat, man. You need to ban him.
Who give me a name. Hey, you know what? Anything.
Harry Hinkin, dude.
Oh, hey, time out. What up, Harry? Hey, man. Man, I almost slipped down and called you something that I wanted to. Hey, Harry, I need you to tell you this right now. Whatever you going through, I'm gonna pray for you, bro. I need you to stop pretending to be me, man. Listen to me. God made you, bro. The greatest person on earth you could ever be is you, bro. Stop being West Coast, bro, because you only getting the positive, bro. I got a whole bunch of flaws that you can pick up too. If you're gonna be West Coast, be West Coast on everything. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Don't just be West Coast when you want to grab some bread and pretend to be me. You feel me? You got to be West Coast when I go down here try to get approved for this Porsche Cayenne, and you know what I'm saying? They say I can't get it because my credit not good enough. You feel me? So
get that sucker up out of here.
You feel me? But hey, right now, I gotta get up. I gotta get you up out of here, Harry. Hey, listen to me. That is the dude that's out there pretending to be me. Stop. Don't inbox him. Don't do nothing. Harry Hinkin is a fake, a fraud. You know what I'm saying? He Daniel Jones out here. Heck, damn it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue, Star.
What was I saying? Yeah, but if I'm Dak Prescott, I need to be getting paid way more than Daniel Jones. I think now they have Derek Carr as well getting paid just about the same as Dak Prescott. I need to be getting paid more than him for all the reasons I just listed. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit sick, so if y'all hear me, I apologize. But Dak Prescott is I don't care what anybody says, he's the number one quarterback now in the NFC. Now that old man Brady, we retired him. Dak Prescott retired him. So old man Brady's out. So And Aaron Rodgers is soon to be out, headed straight up to New York to the Jets land. So if I'm Dak Prescott, I need to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFC at the least.
Ooh, hey, that's a good point. That is a really good point that you just brought up.
I agree with that. Nah, just like go and look at everybody else. Like she said, like there's a very good argument that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC. But you got guys like Kyler Murray who's making $46 million APY, who's never won a playoff game, never thrown for 4,000 yards, never thrown for 30 touchdowns in the season. But he's the third highest APY in the National Football League. So guys like that are getting paid more than Dak Prescott without even having a similar sample size to him. Like Dak Prescott in his first three seasons made the playoffs twice and won a playoff game, made 2 Pro Bowl selections. Here we are going through the 5th year of Kyler Murray, 6th year maybe, and he has done nothing in the National Football League. So it's a very good point to point out there when you just look at the overall playing field in the NFC, NFL overall, really. Because Russell Wilson has been on a decline for several years, and they still turned around and gave that man a $49 million contract.
Facts.
Aaron Rodgers has not won a Super Bowl since I was in college. That's been a long time. I got grandkids, so
Facts.
So
Sad.
and he's making $50 million a year. So like there's a lot of quarterbacks who have been underachieving when Dak Prescott has been one of the winningest quarterbacks that's coming to the league. And what a lot of people do not know is Dak Prescott is actually top 25 all time in career win percentage. So like he's in the upper echelon of quarterbacks right now when you look at like his overall level of play. But he gets talked about like he's a career backup or something. I don't understand the correlation.
Yeah, it's straight foolishness. And then it be with all due disrespect as well. Like, it don't just be like Dak ain't the best. It be Dak is ass type vibes and stuff like that. And like, I don't even want to talk about that. I wanted to lay hands on that young man. Like, we need to pray for him. But man, Dak has been a dominant force in the NFC East since he been in the league, bro. It ain't even been close. Like, and then even the naysayers, even the non-believers, y'all must admit, with Dak Prescott as quarterback, you never go into the game, into any of the NFC East games, thinking that you're finna lose. You be surprised when you do lose with Dak. You be like, man, I can't believe we lost that game. Like, it rarely happens. So, they say privilege is invisible to those who have it. So if you don't have Dak, then you'll start realizing exactly what he brought to the table. So I think y'all need to reconsider the way y'all view his contract, him as a player, the way we failed to use him under Kellen Moore. A lot of people think Kellen Moore boosted up Dak Prescott, but he actually didn't. He got worse with Kellen Moore.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on. I don't even mean to cut you off. It's like, how can you? Hey, listen, Christopher, because I was speaking to you. He said Dak doesn't show in big games, but in a playoff game, he had 5 touchdowns. Did he not? Or do you just pick and choose what you consider a big game is?
But I'm gonna tell y'all like this. You gotta say it like this, right? Dak Prescott is like, it's like Dak Prescott is like like our relationship with Dak is kind of like our relationship with like a parent, like a child's relationship with a parent, right? A parent can just have some normal things in life happen, like, I don't know, the plant shut down and everyth's crazy, nobody got a job, right? And then the child will look at that as like, oh my God, we are let down. But it's like, it's not that we're let down. It's just you're not an adult to understand that that's normal things that happen in life. Like, really good teams go in the playoffs with high expectations and lose. Like, that's like, if you have watched football before, you have seen it before. Like, that is just the nature of the game. And to be honest with you, typically the best team that is considered to be the best team in football, for the most part, doesn't even win the Super Bowl. This is one of the few years when the actual overall best team that from start won the Super Bowl. That usually doesn't happen. Think about this. It didn't happen the last 2 years. The Rams were not considered the best team in football at any point in 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. And Tampa Bay was not considered a top football team in 2020 when they won the Super Bowl at any point of the season. You know what I'm saying? So Go ahead.
I was just about to say, man, we just gotta realize when these false narratives get thrown around against your quarterback, you gotta be wise enough to be able to detect this foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of quarterbacks who got a way easier job than Dak making money. You know what I'm saying? And then we put all the expectations on Dak's shoulder to say he's supposed to catapult this team to the promised land by himself. Like that's just foolishness. You took away his number one weapon, and now you still looking at him to win a Super Bowl. Did you see what Aaron Rodgers looked like against San Francisco? Did you see that?
Adams, it was worse than Dak. It was
Yes. Did you see him the past few years going up against San Francisco? And this was your MVP of the league.
And
he didn't look too much better than Dak did against him.
And this is in the playoffs because I mean the San Francisco 49ers, you know, they walked in our house and beat us on the road, and in 2021 and 2021 went straight to Green Bay and beat them on the road. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of these people that hate Dak, they'll take Aaron Rodgers in a heartbeat. And then you would have got the same results. That's what you would have got against that defense.
Maybe even worse results because of my bad, West Coast. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying maybe even worse results because I think many people don't realize what we try to tell people about Dak is that Dak has been his head coach for a majority of his career was Jason Garrett. Like, I don't think people really comprehend what that means. I think people just look at the games on Sunday and they say, oh, maybe, you know, Dak maybe have thrown a pick here, or Dak maybe missed this read, or he took a sack here, but you're not realizing who are the coaches involved. And then after Dak transitioned from Jason Garrett, he had Mike McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy was basically neutered, castrated because he had Kellen Moore right there, who predicated an entire offense that wasn't to Dak Prescott's strengths
at all.
Dak Prescott rose, led the number one offense pretty much 2 years in a row in a system that wasn't predicated to his strengths. So I think when you guys look at games like the 49ers game, a quarterback cannot just regress that fast. You don't go from the Tampa Bay game, which was pretty much everybody was saying one of the best playoff games from a quarterback in history or in Cowboys history, and then transition the next week and all of a sudden your ass. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's
obviously your OC.
I got some power.
It's not the quarterback, but go ahead.
No, I just want to say I got some power stats for their ass since they want to talk about this. So you know how everybody is saying that Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, this, that, and the third.
They got him ranked number one in the NFC. Shit.
Hear me out.
This stuff is crazy.
After 1 year. Go ahead.
He only had 80 pass attempts when trailing last year. 80. That's it. So they were up like most of the year. For comparison, 2021, Dak Prescott's best season as a player, he had 250 pass attempts when he was trailing, 216 when he was leading, and 130 when he was tied. So pretty much he had 380 pass attempts come without a lead. So Dak Prescott was either trying to get you the lead or he was trying to play from behind.
Or he's trying to keep you back.
Right. And then look at the end result. The biggest power
and he still won 11 games.
12 wins.
Hey, you know what that also means too? That also means that even though football is a team sport, Dak has a huge hand in those victories.
Yeah. But all they credit him with is the losses. That's where that logic is super flawed at. You know what I'm saying? You know, I try to analyze these people's logic, because listening to this mainstream media, bro, you'll be sitting around here sounding crazy, making stupid arguments, cherry picking data, trying to form a narrative. That's what gets you behind the 8-ball when you come to this real concrete jungle, coming up against people who actually do the real research and watch film. You'll be sitting up here looking crazy.
So so real quick, so we kind of so this is the thing, right? We've made the argument. I think it's this like this, right? You know, value of a person is always going to be predicated on you and how you view them. So if you don't feel that Dak is worth it, then that's probably has to do something with your self-worth also. You know what I mean? Because Dak has actually achieved a lot as a human being to be considered a winner in life. Like, there's only 1,500 people in the entire NFL. That's in the entire world. And there's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the world. So, and he's one of them.
Look, I got an exercise for everybody, and this finna be make me sick to my stomach. But I think I gotta demonstrate this to the haters. Okay, check this out. Just imagine if we swap Dak and Hurts. Would you want to go up against them? I wouldn't.
No.
Them boys would be gangster, boy. Is you crazy? See, they sit up here and say stuff like, Dak ain't winning this and Dak ain't doing that. Just imagine if we had Jalen Hurts and we got to play the Eagles with Dak Prescott. Them boys would have won the Super Bowl. I guarantee you they would have won. Yeah. Man, that'll be horrible to play them boys with Dak, man. Is you crazy? Hey, like, y'all got to realize that, man. I wouldn't want to do that. No.
And I'm going to tell you guys this, like, to kind of move the conversation a little bit, because I think we've established this. I think too often we get in a position where we're defending Dak. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not defending Dak anymore. You know what I'm saying? Me defending Dak is like me trying to walk up to some random person and tell me why you love your kids. I ain't going to tell you why I love your kids. It's not your damn business. You know what I'm saying? They see it in my life every day. You know what I'm saying? As long as they know it. You know what I'm saying? So some things you just need to realize. If you a Cowboy fan and you're not blind, because maybe you're using like a Braille TV. If you're using a Braille TV, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not legally blind and you're watching your TV and you still think Dak is ass or trash, that's you, bro. That's you. We're not wasting no more time on this platform. We're not doing this. The question we're gonna talk about now, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not even about is Dak worth it? Because when I ask you, is he worth it? Then I have to bring your opinion in there. I don't care about your opinion. I love y'all, but y'all don't even care about my opinion. Y'all don't support us for the opinions. You support us for facts. So don't even ask me if I think Dak is worth it, because it's not about is Dak is worth it. The question is Dak going to be the first $50 million quarterback? Yes or no?
I'm going to say that he would not be the first, because knowing how the Dallas Cowboys handle contract, they are going to let all these other guys get paid first.
Not first. Will he be a?
Yeah.
Second, the 2-point question.
Okay. Well, no, he will not be the first, because we already know how they handle contracts. Like the entire market's going to reset by the time they pay Dak Prescott. Secondly, yes, he will eventually make $50 million. The same people saying no are the same people saying that Dak Prescott wasn't a $30 million quarterback, and then he got paid $40 million, because that's because the market.
Right. He's not a $30 million quarterback. He's a $40 million quarterback.
Right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You played yourself. So like it's going to happen, because it is what it is. Yesterday's price is not today's price. It used to be the starting rate for a starting quarterback was $30 million. Well, now it ain't. Now it's around $40 million. You already got a quarterback making $50 million APY at this point.
Let me read them off for you real quick, and I'm showing it on they can actually see this on the show too. Aaron Rodgers, $59 million next year. Deshaun Watson, $46 million. Daniel Jones, old Super Bowl winning champion. Oh, go to the playoffs every year. Oh, he loses by 6 points in the playoffs on the road to the number 2 seed team. Daniel Jones
can't even hold that jock scrap.
Come on, was I talking about Dak right now? Yes, Daniel Jones is the 3rd highest paid quarterback in football. Daniel Jones is technically tied with number 2, because he's actually just making the same amount of money as Daniel Jones. So that's why I don't even want to hear. That's why, like, when people say, is Dak worth it? Worth doesn't matter, because my question is this: has Daniel Jones done anything of what Deshaun Watson has done? And then my next question is this: has Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson do better than Patrick Mahomes?
Of course not.
In a parallel world, there's a quarterback. This is called the Twilight Zone. Daniel Jones is making more money than Patrick Mahomes. $6 million, actually. Daniel Jones got put out in the playoffs and he got a raise. Patrick Mahomes got one Super Bowl.
This one thing we failing to realize too. When Dak first came in, Daniel Jones made more money than him out the gate.
Yep.
Dak wasn't making nothing.
He was a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, Dak wasn't making nothing. Daniel Jones making way more money than Dak did made. You know what I'm saying? And Dak had to fight for his.
Yeah, Dak Prescott only made a little bit over $2 million on the first 4 years of his deal.
I'm not a pocket watcher, but you supposed to get. I think you're supposed to get the opportunity to be equal. You know what I'm saying? It depends. It's performance based, but you just get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance to try to be able to get paid that much. And Dak has performed way better than Daniel Jones. So he should get more money than him. That's how it is. It's performance based.
Scott, talk to me, Star.
Yeah, 100%. I think when it comes to, I mean, you look at these numbers. I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is worth his money now, and people may think that that's crazy.
He got a big name though.
He's first ballot Hall of Famer. I know, best quarterback. Tom Brady to go. You can say Aaron Rodgers is the arm talent goat or whatever y'all want to say, but based on his performance last year, even though it was after he was coming off an MVP season, it's like, was he, from the way he performed last year, was it worth it, quote unquote? And the answer would be probably not. But again, you get paid based off of what you've done as a collective. I don't think people realize that. And really, you should get, I'm talking about a collective of your entire career. You're not really just going to get paid based off of you did this, so now let me pay you. You look at your whole tenure. But at the same time, I mean, you're seeing guys like Daniel Jones getting paid more than Patrick Mahomes. But see, no one cares about that. They don't talk. Why aren't they talking about this on the 3 and 4 letter networks? That Daniel Jones is now getting more money APY than Patrick Mahomes. No one cares. They only talk about this when it comes to your quarterback, which is Dak Prescott. And that's why fans think that, oh, Dak is getting paid this amount of money and he's not worth it because he's 2 and 4 in the playoffs and all of it, and bring up, you see when fans say that, they don't bring up all of Dak's accolades. They only focus on he's 2 and 4 in the playoffs. He can't get it done. But if you go through and look at Dak's passer rating through all his playoff performances, it's been pretty good. Right. Besides the 2 playoff games that he had against the 49ers, which clearly that would mean that the system is the issue. Because when you come back and lose to the same team the exact same way that you did the year before, how is that an indictment on your quarterback and not your coach? Because you had a full year to prepare. Full year to prepare for this team who did the exact same, pretty much ran the exact same defense against you, and you still can't score points against them.
And still got stuffed.
Hey, and think about this. I'm gonna tell you the narrative too. That's crazy. Is like the same under the same standards that people use on Dak Prescott. Daniel Jones shouldn't have got paid because Daniel Jones lost in the playoffs. And I'm gonna tell y'all something like this. Like doing content has made me a better fan, but it's also made me something else. And what that something else is like it's almost like a third person. Whereas in like being a content creator, I have to like step out of my fandom sometime and not be a fan of the Cowboys, but just be a football fan. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why you do that is because we always have to gauge where we are. And sometimes we will look at ourselves like we'll go into that 49er game thinking like, bro, we about to beat that. We about to beat that. We gonna be ghost riding the whip in the parking lot. And you fail to realize that, bro, this is an undefeated team at home. This is the number 1 defense in football. This is the number 1 tackling defense in football. You know what I'm saying? This is the number 1 short yardage allowing. That means they only allow short yardage. There is a bunch of factors. Listen to me. The Dallas Cowboys as a whole would have had to play their best game offensively of the season. Theoretically, we needed our best game of the season on offense and defense to beat that team. And I'm going to tell y'all this narrative too. A lot of these teams are also, a lot of the fan base, I'm not even talking about the teams anymore because I want fans to know that we talking about you. We talking about you. A lot of these fan bases are even the Eagles, man. I don't like giving them any type of congratulations or something, but I got to do this. I will say this, man. Eagle fans are bright enough to know that their quarterback can play really good and still freaking lose, bruh. Cowboy fans, we don't get that, bruh. We don't get that, man. I don't hear one Eagles fan talking about, oh yeah, Jalen, he really just, and yes, he did fumble. Yes, he did fumble. He did fumble in the playoffs. Yes, he did lose a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl. Yes, he did. But even the dumbass Eagles, bruh, aren't looking at their quarterback the way we view Dak, bruh.
Yep.
So it's not, bro. It's us, man.
And another thing, guys, like if y'all want to know, go and look. I think Derek Carr's brother put out a video. I forgot. I don't know his name. Y'all can help
David
me out.
Carr.
David Carr, QB, the guy who does QB school. Like, go and look at Kurt Warner. Go and look at how they break down the 49ers game last year and this year. They are telling you scheme wise that Dak did not have help. They're not, what do you guys call defending Dak or saying that Dak didn't make mistakes, because he did make mistakes. But at the same time, the scheme was not going to beat that 49ers team. Sticks and curls are not going to beat a quarters cover 4 defense. When they know that you are just going to run curl routes, you can see on film that the defenders are not even moving.
Then you don't even have the receivers to do that.
Nope.
You don't have the receivers to threaten nobody deep. We like, bro, listen, you have to be able to scare people with your speed to even win on a comeback route or a curl route. Like, if I'm not afraid of your speed, so I'm gonna just sit down with you. I'm gonna sit right on your route, and I'm gonna be ready to attack the ball when it come my way.
Right.
So what you're saying is the receiver that actually need to be running those plays just now got on the team, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you
Think
shouldn't
about
be
this,
doing that.
bro. Look, when it comes to wide receiver stuff, man, you got to think. Your main objective is coming off that line is to make the DB open up his hips. You trying to get him out of position.
Yep.
If you get him to open up his hips, it's over with. You won the route. But if you,
he's committed.
Yeah, he committed. It's almost like a crossover. You want him to bite that way. That's your whole main objective. Once you get him to open his hips, you go the other way. So if they're not gonna open their hips, they send up here just straight facing you the whole time in their back pedal. And then you got the nerve to do a comeback route. They running straight forward too. They ain't opening up their hips. You gotta eat that cushion up as quickly as possible. If you can't do that, your comeback route scares no one.
Hey,
and you know Michael Gallup ain't scaring nobody with no comeback route.
Quincy's talking about, don't you be covered for with short routes. This is why, if y'all listen to Vince Lombardi, he called Kellen joystick, because
Michael Lombardi.
Theory,
Michael Lombardi.
Michael Lombardi. Sorry, I said Vince. I apologize, guys. In theory, a curl route should beat a cover 4 defense. But this is the NFL with the best athletes in the world. We were playing the number 1 defense. So that is not going to, in Madden, it will. But even in Madden, if you keep running the same plays, we're eventually going to know we're going to adjust. So maybe the first time you run a curl route against a cover 4, it worked because you didn't know that it was going to be a curl or a comeback route. But you keep running it. If y'all look at that second pick, was that the second or the first? Yeah, it was the second pick that threw. What's his name? Fred Warner and I forgot their safety. Okay. But they literally knew Kellen was running that exact same play. That's the type of stuff you cannot do against the number 1 defense in the NFL.
I just thought of a show I'm gonna do tomorrow. Look, it's a play, it's a breakdown. I want y'all to go back and look it up because I'm gonna have it on my show tomorrow. I just gotta talk about this now. Look, Stephon Gilmore broke down Kellen Moore's offense. And now he's a part of your team. And guess what he said?
What he said?
During the interview, he breaking down his plays, and it came to the Cowboys. This is when he was playing against Amari Cooper. Yep. He said, now the thing about the Cowboys, when they run a route early in the game, they coming back to it again. They gonna run it again. He said, so I already knew what they was finna do. Bro, what does that tell you? This your new Dallas Cowboy telling you that they knew his scheme was predictable. They knew exactly what he was going to do.
And I'll tell you something else that he also said. He said, because he was talking about how he got that interception, right? And everybody tries to say that he intercepted Amari Cooper. He really intercepted Amari Cooper. He ran the route. And the reason why he knew he ran the route is he said this. He said 2 things that stuck out with me. He said, 1, I knew they were not going to push me upfield. And 2, I had safety help. So you know what that means to a cornerback? I can do whatever the hell I want to do.
Anything short, I can be aggressive.
I can jump the hell. Anything that's short, I'm jumping it. Why? Because if I miss it, I got somebody standing behind me that has no responsibility but to do what? Help me out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, listen to me. Those are the type of moments when a cornerback, when you see those type of moments and you see that ball coming out, you know what you're thinking of? I was 4 years old. I was Deion Sanders. I already thinking about what I'm gonna do as soon as I
can't wait to get this ball.
Hey, he's trying to high step to the end zone.
When you see balls like that, you were thinking, am I gonna high step before I get to the end zone or after I get to the end zone? But either way, I'm taking this to the crib.
And that's exactly what happened in the San Francisco game. You remember that? It was a play on the game-winning drive, on the potential game-winning drive, when your OC couldn't even muster up a first down. Come on, y'all. All these game-winning drives we see across the league. When do y'all see a team can't even get a first down in a situation like that? Tell me, this never happens.
I mean, I'll tell you another game. The overtime game versus the Oakland Raiders on Thanksgiving. We got the ball in overtime and couldn't even convert a first down. That's not, listen to me, an NFL team
doesn't happen, bro.
An NFL team that cannot convert first downs, that's not talent, bro. Because
wait, this I just gotta say that before I forget, bro. Look, when you are OC in a situation like that, Wes, you calling plays for the next play. How do you not get a first down? That's what I'm saying. Look, you say, okay, your first down play, you like, man, let me get like 5 yards. I know this play right here gonna give me 5. Bam, I do the 5-yard play. Now I need 5 more yards in 2-3 plays. You see what I'm saying? You calling plays for the next play. You will never put yourself in a position where it's 3rd and 10. How you do that on a game-winning drive?
Right.
Yes, and I want to say something real quick too, because not all interceptions. Listen to me, Dak does have interceptions that are on him, but not all interceptions that are on Dak. And I'm gonna tell you this right now: there are some times where interceptions are kind of warranted. The reason being is because, listen to me, man, you have supreme athletes. At some point, even Jerry Jones said, "Bro, you got to throw that damn football, bro." Like, there's a reason why you have guys like Trevon Diggs, guys like Deron Bland, who are taking the ball from guys. Like, listen to me. I don't want to set this narrative that Dak is supposed to be out here throwing 0 interceptions. That is not realistic.
You don't have before in the NFL.
I'm gonna tell y'all something like this: throwing and I'm gonna keep it real. Leading the league in interceptions. You know what that really means? That means you're probably gonna go far in the playoffs, because the last 2 quarterbacks that led the league in interceptions, Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions. He lost in the second round of the playoffs. Guess what? 2021. The same quarterback who led the league in interceptions, Matthew Stafford, won the
Super Bowl. Absolutely.
Listen to me. This is the NFL. Stargazer, you had a phenomenal point where you said these are the best corners in the world. You are, like, I don't want to call nobody dumb, but you're dumb if you think that players are not going to throw interceptions. Listen to me. You have people getting struck out. You have the best hitters in the world who play baseball. And guess what? In a season, they're going to strike out more than they hit.
These probably the only
3 out of 10 is good in baseball.
Thank you, bro. 3 out of 10. That's 30.
I was just about to say, these might be the only situations where you don't throw interceptions. You either got some spectacular receivers that's getting super open. That's one. Or you a very, very conservative quarterback who don't want to take any chances. That's 2. You know what I'm saying? It's not many different reasons that you won't throw interceptions. Like, bro, you have to throw interceptions to be a effective quarterback. That's just how it goes.
Like, you got to push the ball to the second level. Second level throws are what beat teams.
And think about this. Dak Prescott had 6 interceptions this year where he threw the ball. Noah Brown, Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, CeeDee Lamb twice, touched the ball, did not catch the ball, and the ball went somewhere else. So
I'm talking about handoffs.
And this is the equivalent. Listen to me. We all had them situations. Mama called at summer. It's about to be summer, so we all know this. Mama call you at 12 o'clock. I'm going to be home at 4. That house better be clean, and you better take out that chicken in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? You take the chicken out the refrigerator, you clean the house. You waiting for mama to get home at 4. Well, guess what? Little brother come through and tear everything up. Tear everything up, because that's what little brother do. Mama come home. Guess what? Because you the oldest. I ain't trying to be discriminative, but in a black home, everybody's still getting their butt whooped. It's just how I go.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yep.
Getting my butt whooped, and I was the little brother because my sister was the big sister. Here, my sister is getting her butt whooped and taking that L. Why? Knowing that she cleaned up that house and did what she was supposed to do. Like that's the situation that your quarterback is in. And every quarterback is in.
I
Every
forgot.
in that situation. And I'm gonna say this last thing real quick. That's why quarterbacks and players in general, they do not get paid off of playoffs. Do you guys know that an NFL's contract is only for the regular season? So people say, so who pays them in the playoffs? The NFL does. The NFL pays the players in the playoffs.
But the bonuses.
Yes, because you guys got to remember, the NFL understands that you cannot pay someone based off going to the playoffs.
It's not guaranteed.
You can't control that. And let's just be real. As good as Patrick Mahomes is, Patrick Mahomes would not take a contract that's like, I'll give you $2 billion, but you got to go to the playoffs 5 times out of the next 7. He's not going to take that contract.
Yeah.
Unless he can pick every player.
Look, I was about to say, this is the last one. I forgot the other aspect for you to not throw interceptions. The last one is that you just mad selfish. You just a selfish player. Think
Aaron
about
Rodgers.
it. Like, yeah, you just throwing the ball away. You don't want to mess up your stats. That's the only way you can get it. Those are the 3 aspects. Because think about this. It's almost like if y'all familiar with basketball, you know when the clock running out, the player throw the ball to a center or something for the turnover. The point guard don't want to take the turnover at the end of the buzz. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they'll mess up their stats. So they'll throw it to a big guy. Like Aaron Rodgers is probably the best example of that. Like you throwing the ball away 100 times because you don't want to mess up your stats. See, them the only kind of players that could just sustain not throwing interceptions. Like if you really trying to win, if you really trying to do something for your team, taking chances, that's part of it. Yes. Like throwing interceptions are the same throws that get you to win in a lot of them other times. So you got to take the good with the bad.
And
hey,
also,
man, hold up, DeQuincy. Let me just say this.
Hold up. We ain't gonna give DeQuincy no more.
Nah, I gotta say this. Get off my chest, Kim. I'm gonna say. Listen, I gotta say that. Go ahead. I gotta say that.
You gotta back up now.
Nah. Hey, because Kinfo, you listen to the 4-letter network, that you're lost. Because they are getting clicks, they getting views, they getting money off your ignorance. Listen to them to destroy your team. They are on Dak the same reason they were on Tony Romo, and the same reason that they were on every other damn Dallas Cowboy quarterback in between. It's the Cowboys. It's low-hanging fruit to talk about, them not winning this, that, and the third. But there are like over a dozen franchises that don't even have championships. There are more teams besides Dallas Cowboys. There's teams with longer Super Bowl droughts than the Dallas Cowboys. So, it doesn't matter what they say about Dak Prescott. Like when we come over here, we're talking about statistics, we're talking about advanced metrics, film, all the other stuff that actually matters. Like everything points to Dak Prescott being a good enough quarterback to win with. So we're not going to even sit here and talk about people we don't care about. If you cared about them so much, you'll be watching them right now. But you're over here in the liquor store, in the trap, over here with Stargazer West Coast, chopping it up, talk about some real Cowboy shit. So forget them.
All right, go. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you this real quick. Go ahead, start. I'll say my piece after start. Go ahead, say what you're gonna say, start.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, and you also have to realize that, like, Dak was, I think he was the quarterback. Yeah, he led quarterbacks in having to throw the ball in tight windows. Correct. So that speaks to 2 things. 1, your receivers aren't able to get separation. 2, your offensive coordinator is not calling plays to help your quarterback be able to make easy reads. Mike McCarthy just made a statement. I think he's at I forgot what I don't know. I don't think he's at
owners meeting.
Yeah, he's at the owners meeting. And he said the bread and butter of an offense, or the way that you make your offense really go, is by not giving your players too much responsibility. If y'all watched Emmitt Smith, he also talked about how when they had their first offensive coordinator, things were too complicated for him. And so it affected the way they played. They ended up doing bad that season. But then Jimmy brought in a new offensive coordinator, and he said he simplified the game so much for them. It was so easy for him to be able to read his keys and just make plays. And so you have to realize, if you are in a system where it's predicated, and I know y'all have to really do your research to find out what system we were running, which was, I guess the term no ID offense where it's just it looks like this today, it looks like this tomorrow. But if you were really looking at that type of thing when you don't have a scheme, guys, like there's no. That's why Dak looked totally different from what's the word the Bucks game to the San Fran game, because we did not have a set scheme. We did not have an offensive coordinator that knew how to scheme guys open consistently. That's why Mike McCarthy said, hey, when I was the offensive coordinator, I knew I got my plays for CD, I have my plays for Zeke, I have my plays. I'm going to have plays for each of my guys because I have to know what I can call in order to get my guys going, get my guys open. So it's just a lot. It's a lot that went into Dak made bad decisions this year that resulted in interceptions, but there was also a lot of issues that were based on scheme, that were based on just the personnel that we had. And you have to also think with a hobble Michael Gallup, why did we have a hobble Michael Gallup coming off of that knee injury doing stop routes? That's probably like the worst routes you would want for somebody who's just coming off that type of injury to be doing. So there's just a lot of stuff y'all gotta think about before you just say Dak sucks. Like consider all things. That's what my friends always say. Consider all things before you just make a statement.
And I'm gonna keep it real. That's why I say as rational, like we got to stop validating some of this stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Like I think smart people give stupid people a sounding board to sound off when we validate their stupidity. Like some point you just gotta, you see an Eagles fan talking crap on the street, you just look at them, you just keep walking. You know what I'm saying? And like that's just and I also understand that like for some people their quarterback is almost like their week is based upon how well their team plays. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I'm a fan too. I get it. I'm a love fan too. And a lot of we're programmed as in like the quarterback, the supreme athlete, the runner of the team. But listen to me. The NFL is probably as balanced as it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Whereas there isn't like Patrick Mahomes is clearly the best quarterback in football, I believe, but that doesn't guarantee that he's going to win a Super Bowl every year. It doesn't even guarantee he's going to win it next year. You know what I'm saying? So the NFL is as even as it is. And I'm going to tell you, there's this thing called the salary cap. The salary cap prevents you from having all the good players anyway. And I'm going to tell y'all this, for all y'all folks that say, he's only good when he has great players. Guess what? That's how it is, everybody. At your job, you're better when you have better employees around you. And guess what? When you don't have good employees around you, guess what? You do all the work and get drugged for it. So
like she said,
name the Super Bowl teams and the championship teams that don't have Hall of Famers on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what Hall of Famers has Dak really played with weapon wise? I know he has
outside of Jason Witten, but he was 100 years old.
Jason Witten was on the tail end.
Jason Witten was
going to name Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and all these guys. These guys in the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses. These guys are either Hall of Famers themselves or play with multiple Hall of Famers. I'm probably going to have Hall of Famer coaches. Andy Reid, like, y'all got to be.
Hey, start. Think about this. Think about this. There were two teams in the NFL who had 4 All-Pros on it. Mm-hmm. Guess what those two teams are? I'll give them to you. Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers. Now think about this. If the 49ers would have had a better quarterback, their quarterback probably would have been an All-Pro because of the success of the team, because that's kind of like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did not have no damn All-Pro season. Jalen Hurts had a offensive rookie of the year season because he did as good as I'm just being real.
Good as Dak.
Y'all not good enough. But like folks was like, listen to me. I literally got caught up in the same track. Why? Because y'all know I'm for the black quarterback. I love the black quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I love quarterbacks too. I love the white quarterbacks too if they good. You know what I'm saying? But I want them to succeed, right? And so I'm on. It's like week 3, and I'm like, man, y'all Jalen Hurts, man. He good, man. He playing good. He the MVP. He should be the MVP. And then, man, this dude, my boy HTM, I ain't gonna lie. Don't ever do that to me alive again, man. Next time, put me on the side and tell me this. But he did this to me on live, bruh. West Coast, what's up, man? Hey, man, look at his stats. Go look at his stats, man. Let's just take a look at his stats. And I'm gonna tell you, whenever someone sets you up like that, you gotta know your ex-gal come up. Hey, babe, come over, man. I want to kick you a little plate or something. You just got your income tax, right?
Bro, you must have not been listening to me, Wes, because you know I ain't buying it. I've been not buying it. I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm a Bama fan too, bro. I wanted him out of my building. That's what I wanted. I wanted him out of there.
I think I started rocking with you. I think I started rocking with you around week round 4, because we just started at the beginning of the season. Me and Henny started at the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, literally on air, I was like, bruh, what is y'all like? What is y'all talking about? Like, these are literally Dak's rookie season stats.
Mm-hmm. And stop bringing up the rushing touchdowns.
I'm gonna say they about 1 yard. They about 1 yard apiece.
Like, y'all gotta stop this. Oh, well, look at those rushing touchdowns. I'm like, they were mostly QB sneaks. Like,
nah, I ain't saying he ain't improved now. So
no,
I don't want
he definitely improved.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something too. Listen, y'all, as grown ass adults, we need to stop this whole, but he's been in the league 2 years. That doesn't mean anything, bruh. If you 18-year-olds and have a kid, you're a mother. Get the hell out of here, bruh. I'm not gonna damn if you 17, 16. If you have, listen to me, if you lay down with someone right now and you get pregnant, no matter how old you are, you're a mother, you're a father. It's time to put the big britches on. When someone gives you the starting keys to an NFL franchise, it don't give a damn how long you've been in the league, bruh. You are that guy. Go out there and compete.
That's what I said about the front office, though. I think a lot of this blame, I don't know, how do the front office just be like Neo and dodge all these bullets? I don't even understand it. They don't get no bullets thrown their way. You mean to tell me you bring in a hobbled Michael Gallup, and then you talking about you gonna have a rookie Jalen Tolbert? That's your wide receiving core?
Front office be doing stupid stuff.
Dennis Houston.
Bro, come on now. Then not only did you trade Amari Cooper, like she said, you brought in Dennis Houston. These people really convinced us that Dennis Houston was finna be a starting, contributing wide receiver on this football team.
Hey, but listen to me. Let me listen to you. I gotta defend myself. Dennis Houston did look like the best wide receiver at training camp. That's not.
You want to know why?
Everybody else wasn't good.
You want to know? Do you want to know why? Because he knew where to be. That's all that offense is. Dennis Houston probably he the one in the front of the class. He the one in the front of the class taking notes. He was the one in the front of the class taking notes, and he was in every position he's supposed to be in. But when that jump didn't work, he looked like hot garbage.
But listen to me. But you guys remember, in training camp, at the beginning of training camp, it's not a lot of route. They're not running a lot of team formation. At the beginning of training camp, there's more one-on-ones. Listen to me. No cap, bro. They're like, I'm not gonna take any snack from Dennis Houston up into training camp was the best receiver in training camp.
You don't remember them? You don't remember them explaining it? I'm just saying. You don't remember when they was asking that? They was like, "What about?" Because everybody was raving about Dennis.
Let me say something. I don't gotta explain it. I went to 21 training camp days.
No, I ain't saying you. I'm talking about when they was asking that, because everybody was raving about him. They was like, "What do you see in Dennis Houston? What do you like about Dennis Houston?"
Listen, I understand that what they saying, but I don't care about what Dak got to say, bro. I was driving 107 miles one way. I ain't listening to nothing Dak got to say. I'm watching this dude on the film. I'm watching him on field be a better receiver than everybody out here. And that's just facts. Like CeeDee Lamb didn't become CeeDee Lamb until into the Packers game. You know, and think about this. If CeeDee Lamb would have been CeeDee Lamb, we probably would have never talked about OJ. You know
that's another problem with your front office. Yep. They bet on CeeDee Lamb, which was kind of risky. I liked him. I felt like he could do it from day one. I said he was going to be a number one.
You bet on it. Listen to me. It's and I want to say something. You do have to bet on players. So I will agree with you.
There we go. I got you. I got you. Finally.
I would say this though. You should only be betting on players. Like, listen to me. I'm only gonna go put a bet to pay my mortgage if I've already tried several attempts to do it the regular way. Like, bro, you should not be pushing all your tables. Like betting on players is what broke teams do because they don't have the money. Like, you have to bet on a player. But bro, that's why I said you should. That's why I was so adamant about the betting with Dalton Schultz, because to me, that's not a bet, bro. That's not considered a bet. That's playing roulette, and instead of it being black, red, that's playing black, red, black, red, black. Yes, it can work, but bro, the odds are not in our favor. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I love Ferguson. Watch this film again. But the odds are not in his favor to do what you guys say he's gonna do. Can it happen? Yes, it can. But the odds are definitely against him.
This all I was saying. This is malpractice by your front office too. But everybody just blame Dak. You bet on the CD Lamb being number one. We never seen it before. I felt strongly about it, but we never seen it. So it's an unknown technically. So you bet on CD Lamb becoming the number one receiver. Okay, that's a bet. Then you set up here and bet that Michael Gallup could contribute as a number 2 receiver coming off of injury. That's a bet. Then you betted that Jalen Tolbert could be your number 3 wide receiver, and you failed on that bet. So this is what I'm telling you, bro. Those were 3 bets right there, and all of them was foolish for real. We just got lucky that CeeDee Lamb became and blossomed into the player that we needed him to be. What if CeeDee been? What if CeeDee wasn't that guy?
We've been screwed. But hey, I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this though. CeeDee Lamb did exactly what he was supposed to do. The problem was everybody else behind him. That's why you have a wide receiving core that was dead last, in separation across the board, outside of once Darian Lamb. And then with CeeDee Lamb, I think what really pissed a lot of us off is that we saw that they moved him around the formation. They made CeeDee Lamb the motion guy. They put him in the slot. All these creative things to get him the ball that we were asking him to do a year ago with Amari Cooper. So, it's crazy, that they had the talent already on the roster, did not utilize it. And then when you got your backs against the wall, you're pulling everything out your ass.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something.
I have to get up out of here, Wes, but I do gotta confess before I go too. So y'all, you was right on your end. The only reason I say you was right when we had that debate, because if the Cowboys don't do nothing with this money, then you was right too.
And then Landlord,
do something with this money, bro. They got some money to do something with it. So I feel y'all too, though. I ain't gonna lie.
And before you go, let me say this point too, because everybody's crowning me as the Dalton Schultz, and you guys are so confident.
The Dalton Schultz GOAT.
Listen to me. Let me just say this, right? You guys just made a whole argument about that same case, right? About you guys did this with CeeDee Lamb and he wasn't. Guess what? Well, you're now doing the exact same thing with Ferguson, and he has less stats. And you think about this.
We betting on Tony too.
Listen, let me just say this real quick, because I need this to marinate on your brain. So please just let me say this, right? You guys are upset with me because I went through something with my team and learned my lesson, and now I'm applying that. Like, what is that? What is that? We learned a lesson with Michael Gallup last year. We learned a lesson.
He scarred me. Oh God, he scarred me.
And now this is the question. And now,
I don't want to play with him no more.
Hold on. Let me say this. We went from a CeeDee Lamb to Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb had more actual stats. He had more actual stats, man. I'm gonna tell you, the Cowboy Nation, you guys are so revved up on what you think this guy's going to do. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. If he don't do it, Ferguson is going to be the most hated Dallas Cowboy player on He will be the new Jalen Smith.
Noah Brown.
He will be the new Noah Brown.
He
will be the new Jalen Tolbert. You guys, I'm going to tell you guys why you hate Jalen Tolbert, because you guys said that he was freaking CeeDee Lamb in his rookie season. So when he came out there and did regular rookie stuff, think about this. If Schultz is mid, then what is Ferguson? Because Schultz was faster than him at the combine. Schultz had a faster combine. He had a faster 3-cone, and he's bigger. So my question, 40. So I want everybody to just think about that for a minute. For all y'all folks that's saying that Ferguson just more athletic, no, he's not. That's not a proven fact. Schultz is faster in a 40, faster in a cone time, and he had 3 touchdowns in the playoffs.
Yeah, I also have to depart from you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we gotta get up out.
I get off here.
Hey, let them know where they can find you guys at.
Yeah, man, it's your boy Henry the Moore reporting live from the liquor store. I appreciate all y'all for the love and support. I will be back later on tonight, man. Appreciate you and God bless.
Already, man. I go by Landlord from Alabama with the same handle on all social media, man. I'm real close to 1K on Facebook, so y'all help me get there. I think I'm at like 980 something, and I'm rounding up to 3,500 on YouTube. So y'all help me get there, and I appreciate all the love and support. Nice rocking with you today, Sky. Star, my bad. And, shout out to West Coast Cowboy as well, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all though, man.
Appreciate you. Hey, Star, how much time you got left on?
I'm good.
Okay, you good, you good. Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all this right here. Some of y'all Cowboy fans, y'all just, this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. I know I make you feel like when I say stuff about Dalton Schultz, I love that you guys. I'm okay with you guys disagreeing with me. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. The reason why I'm okay with it is because this is such an important subject that everybody can't go along with it. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like, this is one of those things where if Ferguson does not work out, we are screwed, bruh. Like, and think about this. We're not even asking him to go from season 2. We're asking him to go from 1 to almost like season 3. And the delta in that's the same thing Landlords is saying right now. If that doesn't work out, your team's not gonna go get somebody. So I'm just saying, guys like Matt Batten, who like to love me when I'm on other shows and talk crazy about me when I'm on here by myself, all I'm saying is, for 1 second, can you guys just pause and think about that? What if your plan A does not work? What if he's not able to make that jump? And Ferguson is not more athletic than Dalton Schultz because he didn't run faster than him and he didn't have a faster shoulder time. So now you guys are just going to say he is because you want him to be. But my question is this: all the confidence that you guys have in this Ferguson, if it's not there or he's just a regular second-year tight end, what do the Cowboys do next? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts on this is I am a believer. And let me see if I can play a
Somebody
middleman
said
because
somebody said game speed, bro. Game
I
speed does
think
not exist. That's how fast your TV is watching, bro. Like, come on, yeah.
I think here's the divide between what West Coast, which this is what I believe you're saying. What West Coast is saying is that there's just no guarantee. There's just no guarantee that Ferguson is going to show up how we expect for him to show up. Now we have expectations on what he can do based off of what we've seen in, his rookie year. However, the numbers are the numbers, and his numbers are significantly less than Schultz. So you just don't know. Now, I am a believer that we will be fine without Schultz. I think we'll be fine without Schultz because I believe that Schultz numbers were inflated because of the system that we were in, which was it was predicated on take what the defense gives you in option routes, which Schultz is a mastermind in finding that soft spot in the zone and catching the ball. He has pretty much reliable hands. Now, when it comes to like jump and go balls and stuff like that, that's not Schultz's game. I do think Ferguson has that over him. I do think Ferguson has more yak ability based on what he showed in college and based on what he showed, the little glimpses of him that we saw. I know that Ferguson and obviously Hendershot weren't able to get on the field as much as Schultz. I still believe, I think that Schultz was going to be TE1 regardless because, he was on the franchise tag. And how things go in Dallas, I just don't think that even if Ferguson and Hendershot may have been better, I still don't think that they were going to play over Schultz. Maybe they could have, but I just don't think that's the way it goes in Dallas. Whoever gets paid plays. So because Schultz was on that franchise tag, he was going to play. But I still do believe that I think we're going to be okay because obviously they're going to probably add another rookie tight end. They may even bring in a veteran tight end. And I do think that the upside for Ferguson and Hendershot is more than Schultz's upside to me, based on what I've seen, because I like Schultz, but this past year, I didn't like how sometimes Dak would try to go to him as you're going to be my big target because we know we tried to use Schultz as a red zone threat. But a lot of times, like Schultz would be dropping balls, get pushed off the ball.
Wait, time out real quick. Schultz had one drop in the entire playoff season. In the playoffs, he had one drop that everybody remember the 49er game.
Not the playoffs. I know he showed up in the playoffs.
And then this is the question I want to ask you, Stargazer, because Ferguson was Schultz's backup, right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't Ferguson be playing in those same hot pockets that he would be playing in?
You talking about this past season?
This is the issue that I have, right? People say that Schultz is basically an aborigine of what Kellen Moore did. Well, Ferguson played in the same offense. So we cannot sit up here and say that Schultz benefited from an offense that Ferguson didn't benefit from. You know what I'm saying? Like that is well, if they both, and then also I'm gonna tell you this right here. You know who has more upside than everybody? Draft picks. Everybody has more upside. You don't know why? Because upside is a gauge of something we don't know. So that's why we try to stay away from upside, right? Because everything has an upside if it has an upside. Like, think about this. We could draft a quarterback in the first round right now, and there are upsides to having him over Dak Prescott. Why? Because, bruh, if we play this rookie quarterback and he plays well, you got him for 5 years instead of having Dak for only 2, and you got to redo the same contract. You know what I'm saying? So I think upside to everyone, but the real question is, in business and in life, is the first off, were you put in a situation where you couldn't have all three? Was there a situation where we couldn't have all three? Because a lot of Cowboy fans, the Cowboys have the fan base and content creators have made fans really think that we were in a situation where we couldn't have all three. No, we could have had all three. Like, tell me this, this is the crazy thing, the crazy issue that I have with Dalton Schultz. People honestly think that Cowboys are better with Ferguson, Hendershot, McEwen, where I think we're better with Ferguson, Schultz, Hendershot. Like, at the end of the day, the goal is to get them all. Like, this should be like Pokemon. Like, the goal should be.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Wes. Is that we got rid of production.
Yeah, and think about this, Stargazer. We haven't had one season in 5 years where we've had a tight end play all 16 games. So there's a really high chance that your tight end is not even going to play all the games this season. Like, we haven't since 2016, we have not had our starting tight end play 16 games. So even with that, there's a high chance that your tight end, your starting tight end, whether that be Ferguson, is going to miss some games. So you're going to tell me we wouldn't be okay with having Schultz as a backup? That's the problem that I have with this because at the end of the day, we brought in T.Y. Hilton. Why? Because we had a hole at 2. Like, and then Stargazer, think about how your team fixes holes. When Dak Prescott got hurt, how did we fix that? Man, we brought in a backup quarterback. And then when the backup quarterback got hurt, we brought him in. If you're going to call Dalton Schultz hot pockets, you got to call every tight end Dalton Schultz tight hot pockets. And to be honest with you, what is wrong with a tight end finding an open hole and catching a ball and getting a first down? Like,
nothing is wrong with that. I think if we listen to what Jerry said at the combine, when they asked him specifically about Schultz, they said, "Are you re-signing Schultz?" And Jerry said, "Well, we have to sit there and think about." Basically saying, is Schultz what we want? Is Schultz going to be able to fit and produce like we need him to do in this West Coast system? Because to me, I don't see Schultz as a guy that's going to win routes, that's going to high point the ball and things like that. Schultz is what he is, which is a possession tight end that can find those soft spots in his zone, catch it, he can move the sticks. I think he led our team in first downs last year, or
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. So he's a chain mover, but he's not going to in the West Coast system. It's
he's Jason Witten.
What do you say?
He's Jason Witten.
Essentially, but I don't want to discredit, because I believe Jason Witten also was able to kind of do both, where he was an option router like Schultz, who could find that soft spot in his own. But I also think Jason Witten, for some reason, he was not fast at all, but he also could run routes. He just was open. He knows how to get open. So I also think with Schultz, like, the issue is that I don't know if his play style is going to fit. And I think obviously Mike, since this is the Mike McCarthy show now, we know in offense, I think Mike wants a different type of tight end than what Schultz is. And I honestly think that Schultz could have been back, but because Schultz was betting on himself, that he thought he was more than he is, and that's why he's not here, because the Cowboys didn't even offer him a contract this year like they did last year because of Schultz numbers. He thought he was on par with Travis Kelce, and
I don't know if he thought he was on par with Travis Kelce, but
he wanted to get paid in that realm, basically.
I don't know if it was Travis Kelce, but I know he definitely felt he was better than David Njoku. It was David Njoku's contract that actually spurred the reason why he canceled, because you got to go look at David Njoku. David Njoku got a massive contract last year, and none of his stats are better than Dalton Schultz.
Right.
So you see a guy like David Njoku from the Cleveland Browns get this massive contract. It's like the Daniel Jones and the Dak Prescott. Daniel Jones is $6 million more than Dak, and they're like, bro, you're not even close to having the same stats as me.
I argue with Henny about this because I think it's basically two sides, and I get what y'all saying, because it's like you can't, because we do use the eye test on Dak Prescott, but you also use stats. Henny was saying that you can't say that Schultz is not a top 5 tight end if he's top 5 or top 10 in production. I think others are looking at Schultz as, okay, yeah, he did have this production, but look at the type of athlete, because David Njoku is a better athlete than Schultz. What's his name? Hayden Hurst is a better athlete than Schultz. These are guys that do different things. They stretch the field. They have some yak ability, leaping over people and all that type of stuff, which is stuff that Ferguson also has, with the hurdle ability, the yak ability. So there's just different abilities that we think that may be better that Ferguson may be better. But I do get your point, West Coast, in that we may be putting too much expectation on these young guys to say that they are going to be able to reach the production of Schultz. I do agree. I do agree with that. And I do think that makes 100% sense. And that's what I told Henny. I said, well, you know what? We're just at the point where we're going to have to see, because we're going to have to see, is Ferguson going to be better in this system like we think he is? I think he is, but we could be dead wrong. And I get that's what you're saying, is that you don't want to make a bet and then be wrong, and then now there's a hole.
Facts.
Because that's
what we got. Somebody who understands me.
Because that's always because saying, it's like, we don't want to bet on this guy. He's not good, or say he gets hurt or something happens, and then boom, now we have a hole. And it's like, we could have had Schultz that we knew he's a possession, so he's gonna catch those balls, he can move the chains. We know he can do that. So it's just about going from the known to the unknown.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you this too. I feel like this: when you have money, you shouldn't have holes. Because what is the money for? Like if we're in a boat, right? We're in a boat, and we have a hole, and we have patches to fix the hole. Why did your boat sink? You have patches. Use the damn patches. You know what I'm saying? What is the only thing you can use money in the NFL team to do, in an NFL program, is to either make your team better or to fix something that's broken. That's only two things you use the money for. So it's like, what my biggest issue is, and my team does not have a good track history of fixing holes. Like, we started a rookie, Ben DiNucci. Why? Because they didn't want to go get nobody else, man.
You're right. I get you. I get you. I get both sides of the argument. I'm an attorney in real life, so I'm a mediator in theory. Like, I get both sides of the argument of that. Well, there's this and there's that. I'm leaning more toward the we'll be fine without Schultz, but there is a chance that we may not be fine without Schultz, and we may miss him. You know what I'm saying? That there still is that chance because of the production that we seen. 2 years in a row, he put up top 5 numbers. So that's
think about this, guys. Think about this too. Like, I wouldn't be so afraid of, like, not afraid. I wouldn't be so like in panic until I, because guess what? Once I see it happen, I will be fine. The only listen to me. The only difference between me and everybody else is I'm not believing until I see it. You guys are believing it because you're seeing it in your head. You know I'm not gonna see it, nor am I gonna vocalize that I believe something if I don't actually see it. That's just, like I said, me personally, I've gotten burned by NFL players to do that. Michael Gallup was the last time, and honestly, I was actually a guy that believed that Michael shouldn't get the contract, but I also believed that But I was also a guy that thought that Michael would probably need only like a month. He ended up needing 2.5 months. You know what I'm saying? And even when he came back, he really never really look like Michael Gallup. You know what I'm saying?
He never did. He never did this year. And we're paying him a lot of money. People don't know we paying Michael Gallup $16 million this year.
And I'm gonna tell you this right here. Like, you guys should not be upset with West Coast using his platform to stand on something. Like at the end of the day, y'all act like the Dallas Cowboys have not made the wrong decisions and we suffered for it.
They have.
Like, there's a reason. Like, listen to me. Shout out to everybody that wears a run the damn ball hat or has gotten a run the damn ball hat. You want to know why I had to write run the damn ball hat on it? Because they didn't want to do it. Nope. Like, they didn't want to do it. So it's like, let's not act like the Dallas Cowboys have this history of making great decisions. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I am actually more afraid. I'm not afraid of Ferguson not being the guy, because realistically, the math says that he could be the guy, but the math is against him this year. I'm more concerned about the Cowboys acknowledging it and doing something. Like, think about this. The Dallas Cowboys let your kicker miss 4 kicks in a playoff game and let him kick the very next week. They said, hey, maybe it's Tampa Bay's air. Think about this. They brought Mayer back after he torched us 3 games in 2020. Bro, your organization systematically makes the wrong decision. So you cannot just be like, oh, yeah, the Cowboys got this. No, I'm going to tell you what the Cowboys did. They sided with the fans. That's what they did. This is one of those situations I feel like the Cowboys sided with the fans. And all I'm asking is this. In a season where you guys feel that my quarterback needs to improve, why would you take his number 1 target away from him? Can I just that's a real question I want to know. If Dak didn't have a good season last year, why would you take his starting tight end away from him? A guy he's throwing more touchdowns, more touchdowns, and more first downs too. Think about this, Stargazer. The last 2 years, Dak lost his starting wide receiver. The next year, he lost his starting tight end. Think about this too. These are also the first 2 years on his extension. Ever since Dak Prescott has been on this extension, the Dallas Cowboys have taken, and not off the defense, they have taken guys off this team. And you know what they've told Dak? Dak, prove to me that CeeDee Lamb can be a number 1 receiver. Hey, Dak, prove to me that Ferguson can be a number 1 tight end. No, bruh. They're not asking Patrick Mahomes to prove anything. They're not asking. They already believe in Patrick Mahomes. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it.
I mean, I will say the front office definitely has a history of making wrong decisions. However, we have seen that they've made smarter decisions. They did make smarter decisions in the season when they knew our run defense still wasn't what it needed to be. And then they went and got Jonathan Hankins at the trade deadline, who did help us significantly. They did make a decision when they realized, oh, we messed up tremendously. Let's go try to get somebody. Let's go try to at least get a wide receiver that we think could possibly help us get past, obviously, San Fran. Now, we had an offensive coordinator that did not use the guy that we picked up, besides, 3rd and 30, versus the Eagles, which that's an indictment on Ellen Moore.
He didn't really get no targets, too.
Yeah, he didn't really get targets, and so we brought this guy in and you didn't target him. I will say this. We do have a good enough. I'm at the point where if my quarterback can throw to a T.Y. Hilton who just got off the couch, a 3rd and 30 ball, I mean, it was just right there in the breadbasket. My quarterback can adjust. He's been adjusting because y'all don't know this, but Dak has had a revolving door. He's never played with the same receiving core for more than 2 years.
Facts. Facts.
His entire tenure, he has not had the same receiving core.
The only thing that he's had consistently over his career is Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, because when was Schultz drafted?
2018.
Right. So he's had Schultz, but Schultz didn't emerge into who he was until
17.
Okay, then Schultz didn't emerge into who he was until 2021 season. We're like, okay, Schultz showed up for us.
Exactly.
So it's just like I think Dak will be able to adjust. I think he'll be fine without Schultz because I think we're going to get him, we already got him another weapon. And luckily we have a quarterback that he putting in the work now. That's what I love so much about Dak Prescott. And it's a really not under the radar because everybody says Dak has intangibles. It's just something that it's a Brady-esque type of intangibles where these guys live, breathe, sleep, eat football. So we have a quarterback who's already working with working with Ferguson, working with McEwen, working more with CeeDee Lamb, going to be working with Brand. He called Brandon Cooks as soon as he got signed. So he's already working with Brandon Cooks. And Brandon Cooks has already said he's damn glad to be here. He's very excited to be here and play with Dak Prescott because they know the type of man that Dak Prescott is. And Dak is going to put in the work to make sure that the timing is right, that the chemistry is there. And, we're grateful because this is a season. This is another season where Dak He's not rehabbing or anything like that. So he has the ability to go in and put in work with his guys. But as I said, I get both sides of the argument because it could be a possibility that there's a follow-up. But because Dak Prescott has been able to continue to be a winning quarterback despite his weapons changing how it has, I do think he's going to just continue to be able to move forward. And I think us having better wide receivers is also going to help us not have to target the tight end so much. I still think that we're going to obviously Mike McCarthy likes tight ends, so we're always going to use tight ends. I'm not saying that, and they're gonna, but it's not going to be like they have to be our number one focus, if that makes any sense. But
I think it's a focus, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think that tight ends have been a focus in Dallas. But like for some odd reason, Cowboy fans get mad when people say, "Oh, they take what you give them." Like there's been this narrative you can't take what you give them and all this other stuff. Like that is what you're supposed to do. Like on a 3-play series, you're gonna take what the defense gives you probably 2 times, and you're gonna try to exploit the defense 1 time. Like defenses are good too. Like there's a degree of that. Now, this is the crazy thing about it is like this, like, I just be so frustrated with the nation, bro. Y'all take 19 catches, bro, 19 catches and 2 touchdowns, and y'all ready to bet your whole 17-game season on it and want to get mad at a guy like West Coast because I'm just being that guy that's saying, hold on, maybe we should consider this before we do it, because the only problem is this, man. If you're tight, and then I'm gonna tell you this right here, it's not even really like it's really not even the catching that I'm concerned about with Ferguson. It's everything else that a tight end's supposed to do. Like for an example, right? When you run a play action pass, right? And you bootleg and your tight end bootlegs to the outside, it's usually your tight end who's the key blocker on that, or your running back. Well, guess what? Your running back has a broken fibula, so there's probably a good chance that he's not going to do that. Okay, at least week through 4. So now, guess what? Ferguson has to be a power blocker and needs to be able to pick up blitzing linebackers. That's something he's never done in this NFL. Why? Because you don't do that when you're only catching 19 passes. And they didn't really play him a lot. Only thing I'm saying is this: if I was Ferguson's agent, and if I was Ferguson as a choice, yes, I want to have an opportunity, but I also want to have a safety net for this team. And that's the only thing I'm saying. I love the Cowboys more than I love Jake Ferguson and his will to want to succeed. At the end of the day, we still got rent that got to get paid. And the cool thing about the game is we're going into a season where theoretically this is a season for Dak to get paid. Yeah. Dak has to look good this year, man. He can't have no diminished stats this year. Dak is going to be on a 1-year deal next year. And isn't it funny that in a year when he's about to be on a 1-year deal for $59 million, he loses the guy he's throwing more touchdowns to and more damn first downs. All I'm saying is this: there is a lot riding on Dak Prescott this year, especially in a season where you guys said he threw 15 interceptions. So why put him in a situation to be throwing the ball to more inexperience? That's why I say the Chiefs would never do this. The Chiefs would never do this. And then think about this. Go look at the playoffs teams. All the playoff teams had really a good above tight ends. The 49ers, they have a really good tight end. The goddamn Chiefs have a really good tight end.
The Eagles have a good tight end, and Dallas Goddard. That's true. You're right.
And I'm gonna tell you this right here: none of their tight ends are guys that are trying to find their way in the NFL. These are all established
guys. Yeah, that's a point. That's a point there. I think
Tom went to Tampa Bay. Who did he want? When Tom went to Tampa Bay, he wanted
Gronk. You're 100% right. I agree with you. Wes. Is like, all these. It's just we're going to an unknown of, and there's a lot riding. We just have to hope, because of the system, the change in system, that one is going to be a lot easier on Dak Prescott, a lot easier reads. We're going to run the ball, a lot of things that we've been asking God, please, God, help our offense to look like this, based on what the coaches and, front office have said, that it is going to change this year. And so I think, as I said, I think we will be fine. If I was a betting woman, I would say I think we will be okay without Schultz. But I do understand that, we are going into an unknown. and that is a bit scary.
If I was a betting man, you know what I would say? I'm not taking this bet. It's like this isn't a put a gun to my head. You got to take this bet. So it's like, this is the thing. Why take a bet on Tony Pollard and take a bet on Dalton Schultz? No, you got to do one or the other. You don't take a bet on both. Like I'm trying to pay my mortgage with a scratch off, and I'm trying to play my insurance with a lottery ticket.
That's why y'all need to hope that we go ahead and bring Ezekiel Elliott back. So
facts. Like, listen to me.
We need to bring Zeke back because you don't want to. People, I mean, I don't know. People have doctors on their shows and stuff like that, and they say that Tony Pollard's gonna be fine. And I'm just like, I just don't think that he's gonna look the same. I just don't think he's gonna look the same personally. Because I mean, you look at the way Tony Pollard runs. With that foot injury, I don't see him looking the same. I don't. Now maybe he will, and if he does, great. But I think that's also a reason why the Cowboys put him on the franchise tag, because they don't want to be committed to Tony because
you can all. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, Stargazer.
Be committed to him.
Let me tell you something too. Before we get up out of here, that people don't know. They could always take the franchise tag back.
Well, he signed it, didn't he? He already signed it. They can take it back still.
Well, he signed it as of you know what he did as of the.
He signed it. He signed it fast.
So now, I rescind that. So I'm gonna tell you this. Then the Cowboys have until July 15th to get him a deal. Then
they need to put him on a deal, but I think they're gonna let him. Our friend, they're gonna let him play on their franchise.
Why you sign it? Why you sign it?
It's not good, but he's not gonna look the same. And we paying Tony Pollard. He got the highest paid back this season because you look at all these contracts that these running backs got. The highest paid was Miles Sanders to the Panthers at like $6 million APY. We're paying Tony Pollard $10.9 million. We're also paying Michael Gallup $16 million this year. So
I'm gonna tell you the reason why he signed it, because he's hurt. And it's a guarantee.
Yeah, he needed security. So he had to sign it. I mean, he was in a lose-lose situation. I mean, he had to sign it. So I mean, but I just want y'all to prepare yourself. I don't think Tony Pollard's gonna look the same. I don't think he's gonna run the same.
People say, why wouldn't he sign it? The reason why you wouldn't sign it is because you're gonna get $10 million, but you gotta look. I'm looking toward my career. If I don't ball this year, I'm literally gonna have to take a diminished deal. I'm going to be Dalton Schultz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At a worse position. If Tony Pollard doesn't ball on this $10 million this year, and I'm going to tell you guys, the odds theoretically are against him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't ball in this thing, he's going to get a contract for like $2-3 million the next year, if that. So that's why I said, like, it's a calculated risk where it's like, if you're not 100% healthy, you don't sign it. If you don't think you can come back and be Tony Pollard week 1, you don't sign it. You want to know why? Because you take your chances at a bigger contract. I know $10 million is a lot of money to walk away from, though. I know it is. It is. And I'm going to tell you, when you're hurt, you almost have to take it. But as far as if you, like, if I don't even want to say if I believe. I put it to you like this. If Tony Pollard's healthy, she's not signing that.
Yeah, he knows he's not healthy, and y'all, we don't hear any reports. We saw the videos of Terrence Steele, getting out of his kickstands and all of this, but we're not seeing no videos, and they're not saying that Pollard is ahead of schedule.
Good point.
So what we really, our biggest need, and based off of the scheme that Mike said we're gonna run the damn ball, we need a running back.
And think about this, Star. Regardless of what happens, he's hurt. He's gonna be on some type of a pitch count.
Yeah, exactly. Like we need a running back, and we need the real deal. That now I'm like, okay, well, bring me. If we can get Gibbs, get him.
Facts.
If you can get Gibbs, Kendre Miller, I don't think Bijan be there, but you can get these guys. You need to bring them in the building because you need a real back, a real dynamic back that can help this team.
I like Bijan, but his tape versus Arizona, I was
I'm not on the Bijan hype train at all, but I mean he's definitely a top 5. I mean top 3 back in the draft. So I just say I honestly prefer Gibbs or Kendre Miller. I love Kendre Miller. That's the guy that I would go for. Also, I'm seeing a lot of spark about Dwayne McBride. I haven't got into his film, but I'm going to watch him because it seems like he's got everything. It's just that he played for a smaller school, so that may be like the knock against him. But yeah, we definitely need a running back for sure. Because we cannot rely on Tony Pollard. We cannot rely on what's his name, Malik Davis, Rico Dowdell. I mean, these guys, we cannot rely on these guys.
Not rely on
we
inexperience.
need to just go ahead and bring Zeke back. I'm hoping that we bring him back.
And it's somebody said, you bring him back after you not give his number away, man.
He can come back as 15. He wants to be. He tweeted out he wants to be 15 anyway. He wants to go back to his college number. I think it'd be great. And you start.
Star, let me tell you this. Let me tell you how smooth Jerry is. Let me tell you. This is what Jerry do. You, Steven. Hey, Steven. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna let that something go out there. We're gonna let him out of here, right? Then we're gonna give his 21 to Gilmore. We're gonna sell that jersey, right? But listen. But then we also gonna sell the rest of them Zeke 21s we got. And then you know what else we gonna do? Cheryl, how fast it take you to cook up a couple 15 jerseys? So this is what we gonna do. We gonna have 2 players and we gonna sell 3 different numbers.
That's exactly what Jerry's doing. And I'm trying to tell y'all.
Break it down to him real quick, Star. You the lawyers. Break it down to him. What Jerry doing? He about to sell you 3 numbers for 2 dudes.
Yeah, Jerry is selling y'all three numbers for 2 dudes. But think about this. Jerry and Steven, go and read Jerry's statement that he made about Zeke. What he said in that statement when we first released Zeke is the same thing he said. He said we released Zeke so that he could go into the market
and see what he's worth.
The Cowboys are betting on Ezekiel Elliott coming back.
Facts.
No, they didn't want to get rid of him, but they knew that we could not have him play under that same contract. So they said, let's release him. Let's go in. Let's let the market decide what he's worth. And then, obviously, if it's outpriced, we get outpriced for outpriced. But if we can bring him back, if he sees, and now y'all see these teams that Zeke said he was interested in, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Bengals. The Eagles and Jets said that they're out. So his market is drying up.
And think about this. You could literally put Zeke on a whole new contract for cheaper than what the last contract was worth.
Absolutely. And so now the contract is not insulting. That's why Jerry said, and Steven said, we didn't want to offer him a contract, a restructure. Because it would insult him.
Yes. Oh, you know what? It's like it's like your cleaning lady, you paying her $100 a month, you get mad at her and you tell her she got to clean the same house, but she got to do it for $80. She's not gonna. Your house is not gonna look the same, bro.
Right.
It's not gonna look the same.
Yeah. They never released Zeke with. So for all y'all saying Zeke is wide, blah 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 blah, all that BS nonsense y'all been saying, the Cowboys don't think that. The Cowboys never really wanted to get rid of Zeke. It has always been about the money, and so they played the long game with Zeke because they knew if Zeke goes out there in that market. No one, because Zeke's camp said he was leaving because they believe he's still a starter. That's why that's his camp.
Starter means starter. But remember, starter, when they say starter, they weren't actually talking about position because Zeke was already the starter. They were talking about finances. They were talking about money.
Yeah. So they think, they obviously think
he's still worth that $16 million.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what they were saying. But now the market is like, I don't think so.
And think about this. With Zeke's probably thinking too, like, bro, all this Zeke's thinking about all the stuff he does. The Cowboys are only trying to pay him for the running back. They're not really trying to pay him for being on the field 20 times pass blocking. Because that's why Zeke is like, bro, I'm worth the $16 million because, bro, I'm your best blocker. I got 12 touchdowns. Zeke is looking at the totality where the Dallas Cowboys are like, I only want to pay you for that.
Yeah, I want to pay you for this. And so when he comes back, now his role will be clear. It'll be established. Zeke will know who he is. And all sides will be clear. And there'll be no insults. There'll be no issues, in the locker room or anything like that. It should just be smooth sailing if it works out how the front office is planning. Because if you listen to Steven said, if they lose Zeke, he said, it will be ideal if we could get a strong, powerful back, which means that they know Tony Pollard.
He's not that dude.
Tony Pollard is not going to be, he cannot be the only back. They know that for sure. It's not questionable. It's not a question. They know that for sure. So they said it would be ideal in the draft. They're looking for power backs.
Yes. And think about this, with the money that you're paying Tony Pollard, $10 million guaranteed, it's like a lose-lose, because it's like, as an organization, like, you can't just drive him like a rental, because he's like, bro, you only got him for a year. You know what I'm saying? And you're paying him $10 million. Like, the most important thing is Tony Pollard has to be available for us in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right now, I'm even okay with Tony Pollard not playing the first month. You want to know why? Because you only got him 1 year.
Right.
I only have him 1 year. So it's like, I want to guarantee that he is there in the playoffs when I need him. That's why I say, like, Tyron Smith, like, guys like him, I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care about the first 5 games of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You think about this, like, Rondell Jones, unless we brought him in, he has 61. He's played in 71 games in his NFL. He's only started 25. He's not starting running back.
No. And the people, y'all, Ronald Jones he's competing with
Malik Davis
and Rico Dowdle, guys. He's not a Zeke replacement. I don't know why people were saying that. Like, is this the guy to replace Zeke? No.
John says, I'll say something real quick. John says, so when you going to admit you were wrong about they couldn't sign him back? First off, John, I never said that the Cowboys wouldn't sign him back. I actually did a whole show yesterday that started off that said, this is America. You can sign him back. It's just a matter of what you owe them. You're going to have to still pay him. It's like, if you owe your gardener $50 for last week and he comes to cut this week and it's $60 for this week, you technically owe him $110. You know what I'm saying? So could the Dallas Cowboys, you can do that in anywhere. You can do, this is America. There's nowhere in America that you can't do anything. But are you willing to do the consequences that come with it? The Cowboys have brought players back. Listen, why would I say that? And they brought Jason Witten back. Like, I'm
exactly. 40. They can definitely bring Zeke back.
Like, what are you talking about?
We just don't know how. But if Jerry is saying that, if Mike McCarthy is saying they would love to give him back,
he can do it. They know there's a way he can bring him back.
There's a way to bring him back for sure.
Yeah, but that's why I said, I was like, man, I don't know, because you're going to have to pay him what you owe him and put him on, you know what I'm saying?
In a new contract, right. But it's like, I think we'll see. We'll just keep watching and see how this plays out. But
hey, shout out to all the folks that always constantly disagree with me. No, West Coast, you did say it. Hey, if I did, it's on video. And, hey, I love it. If I said it, send it to me. I got a free run the damn ball hat for anybody can send that to me. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I said
right, Craig, we're gonna have to wait and see. We gotta wait and see. We don't know.
But hey, man, this has been entertaining. We got to get on to our days. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all. But it's only me and Star. It's only me. Yeah. But I appreciate you for tuning in, man. We gonna definitely get you back on the show more often, man. This is not just a one-time thing. You know, West Coast, I put a lot of content out there, but I always want to be known as guys who's putting content creators. There's a difference between people who create content and someone who creates content creators. And I want to be the one who does both. All right, man, you held your own today, man. Let them know where they can find you at, and let them know where they need to go follow you at.
Yeah, so you guys can subscribe right now to my YouTube channel. There's no content on it, but now that I, got my streaming service and my new computer and all that stuff, that's why it was been a delay, guys, because I was trying to get my better equipment. But now I got my equipment, so I'm definitely going to be working on my first video to put on my channel. But my YouTube channel is Stargazer Sports. You can follow me on Facebook as well at Stargazer Sports Media. You can also, you should be able to find me on Twitter as well, Stargazer Sports Media. But my actual name on Twitter is The Stargazer. But instead of an E in Gazer, it's a 3 and it's 2 R's at the end. So you guys can follow me. I saw people throughout the show asking me, where can we follow you? So those are Stargazer Sports on YouTube, Stargazer Sports on Facebook. Should be able to find me Stargazer Sports also on Twitter. And thank you guys so much thank you, West Coast, for having me. I was so glad to be here and chop it up with you guys. And I hope this will not be my last time on the show.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. You know what I'm saying? I changed up my whole style. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I was not going to be the one they canceled for cutting you off. Nope, not today. Not today. Yeah.
It's all good, man.
The Women's Cowboy Coalition was not going to be inboxing me. Not today, Satan. Not today. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all. You already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.